My story really is about what it looks like for many people who believe that perhaps they don't have what they need necessarily at the outset, but believe that they could change their lives into something better than what their parents were able to do. I actually grew up as a child in Harlem, New York, one of 6 children of first-generation Muslims, growing up in Manhattanville housing projects, in the epicenter, as I called it, of the Harlem Renaissance in some ways, but also the epicenter of the crack cocaine era. My mom always taught me that if we actually were committed to being educated, that I actually could sort of be anything I wanted. And I think the reason why I was able to break the cycle of poverty was because I believed that my mom said that education was truly the liberating factor in one's life. As a young kid, about 9 years old, I always knew I wanted to go to law school. I saw the law as a vehicle to help people, to articulate ideas and to communicate the things that needed to be fixed in our communities, and I saw that as a pathway for me to help people in my community as well. I learned early on that you had to be vigilant about standing up for yourself in many ways, but also passionate about seeking the educational opportunities that you actually needed to be successful in life. I went to high school at A. Philip Randolph Campus High School. It was almost as if the entire school was motivated to achieve, and you felt it when you walked in those doors. 20 of us were chosen to be the first class of the Milken Scholars Program from A. Philip Randolph High School. And it was so special because when we met with Michael at that first meeting, we got the sense that this was a man who really understood our stories and our histories and cared to help us. And the great thing about that moment was that we actually felt we had a huge role in shaping his perception as to who we were and what we could accomplish. Our story was really an American story. It's the story of people who don't have a lot but wish for everything in the world, and the hopes and the dreams of young people who believe that with hard work all things are possible. The thing about the Milken Scholars Program that I think was really sort of pivotal in my own life was that it helped sort of create a pathway for me and open up doors for me. My first speech that I gave at the Milken Scholars Dinner in 1989, I sat at the table with 2 people. One was Jerry Laybourne, who was the president and founder of Nickelodeon, and one was Bob Pittman, who was the president and founder of MTV. After I sat down from giving my speech, they both looked at me and said, "Here are our cards. If you need anything in life, you call us." Well, I called them.
Yesterday, so valuable.
Okay, so thank you so much, and we'll wrap up and we'll get back together next week and figure out where we stand. I feel as if I have a responsibility to help young people in a way that people have helped me, because, you know, I wouldn't be where I sit today if it was not for many of the great people that sacrificed and put an extra phone call in for me, or helped me look at my resume one more time before I handed it in to a job. Never forget where you came from. Always try to revisit and sort of, you know, remember sort of the struggle that you went through. And the promise is out there for you just to capture. The dream is yours, so just take hold of it. For many of us, this is our one chance, really, to make it beyond our, you know, our doors of our community. Sometimes that extra sort of effort that you put forth at this moment will change your entire life. I would not have changed one thing in my entire life. This is the journey that I would have taken 100 times over, because it taught me resilience and to be tenacious and never give up.